Ever get the feeling that some people are just operating on a different level? It's not about being smarter. Not really. It's about perception. They see the hidden systems, the invisible architecture that dictates how the world actually works. Well, for the next few minutes, we're going to start seeing it too.
See, this is the key. This isn't about IQ points. It's about a kind of vision. It's about looking at what seems totally random and seeing the underlying order. It's about understanding the forces that most people don't even have a name for. It's the difference between reacting to life and building the systems that create it.
So, what is this stuff? What did they figure out about human behavior, about systems, about power that you and I were definitely never taught in school? That's the big question we're tackling here. We're going to pull back the curtain and actually map out this invisible architecture, piece by piece.
To get this, we have to start at the absolute bedrock. This is knowledge that's been kind of kept in the shadows for a long time. We're going back like 3,000 years, before psychology, before marketing, to a set of principles from the ancient mystery schools. They're called the 7 Hermetic Laws, and they pretty much govern, well, everything.
Okay, so the first principle, mentalism, is the master key. It's the idea that everything you see around you, everything that exists, had to first begin as a thought. Every company, every brand, every single movement was just an idea in someone's head before it ever became real.
And here's where it gets really strategic and brilliant. The most powerful brands on Earth, they don't just sell you stuff. They occupy mind space. Think about Apple. They never just sold computers. They sold the entire idea of thinking different. Once they owned that mental real estate, the products practically sold themselves.
Next up is correspondence. This one basically tells us that patterns repeat themselves on every single scale. It's like a fractal. So if you can understand the pattern in one area, say building a powerful personal brand, you literally have the blueprint to apply that same pattern to building an empire.
All right, number 3 is vibration. In today's language, we probably just call this vibe. It means everything gives off a felt quality, a kind of frequency that people pick up on way before their conscious mind kicks in. You feel the quality of a luxury brand before you even read the tagline. You sense if you can trust someone before they even say a word.
And this is absolutely crucial. The emotional frequency, the vibe, it always lands before the logical message. The most influential leaders and brands are obsessed with this felt quality. Why? Because they know what you feel determines what you're even willing to hear.
And look, this whole system is complete. Polarity shows us that every problem holds the key to its own solution. Rhythm teaches us to work with the natural cycles of culture, not to fight them. Cause and effect is a reminder that there's no such thing as overnight success. It's always just the final result of causes you didn't see. And gender shows that to create anything real, you need both the big, creative idea and the grounded structure to make it happen. Okay, so we've got the universal laws down. Now let's zoom in. Let's go from the cosmic to the personal, and see how this same architecture works inside the most important place of all, the human mind.
Over 2,000 years ago, Aristotle laid out the unbreakable sequence for influence. First, ethos. You have to establish credibility. Who are you and why should anyone listen? Second, pathos. You have to tap into emotion. Logic makes people think, sure, but emotion is what makes them act. And only then, after that, do you hit them with the logos, the logic to back up the decision their emotions have already made. That sequence is everything.
Now we go even deeper. The psychologist Carl Jung talked about the shadow. That's all the parts of ourselves we try to suppress and push down. But here's the thing, they don't go away. They just drive our behavior from the shadows, from our unconscious. The brands that have that crazy, irrational loyalty, they speak directly to the shadow. Harley-Davidson isn't selling motorcycles. It's selling the freedom and rebellion that its customers have had to suppress their whole lives.
All right, I want you to prepare yourself for one of the most uncomfortable truths you'll ever hear about human beings. This comes from the philosopher René Girard. Just let this sink in for a second. We don't actually know what we want, not on our own.
Girard called this mimetic desire. It means we learn what to want by copying other people. We want things because we see people we admire, or maybe even envy, wanting them first. This is exactly why for a luxury brand, the model is way more important than the product. You don't have to sell the watch, you have to sell the person wearing the watch. Make the right people want it, and everyone else will follow.
So we've got the universal laws and the human code. Now let's talk about using that knowledge to build an unbeatable position in the world. This is the architecture of strategy.
You know, everyone misreads Sun Tzu. They think he's writing about tactics for winning a fight. He's not.
He's writing about creating the conditions where victory is inevitable. The win isn't decided on the battlefield, it's decided by all the work you did beforehand. Think about it. Amazon didn't win e-commerce with better product pages. They won by building an invisible infrastructure of logistics and trust that made it impossible for them to lose.
So how do you build these kinds of systems? Well, Nassim Taleb gives us this amazing framework. Some systems are fragile. They break under stress. Some are robust. They resist stress. But the real goal, the holy grail, is to be anti-fragile. That means you build a system that actually gets stronger from chaos and uncertainty. So the question isn't how can I avoid problems, it's how can I build something that feeds on them.
So how do you find these powerful ideas that last? You use the Lindy effect. It's a simple rule. The older an idea is, the longer it's likely to be around in the future. An idea that survived for 2,000 years, like Aristotle's, has a pretty good shot at another 2,000. It's been battle-tested by reality itself, and that's why ancient wisdom is so much more reliable than last year's hot new trend. Okay, so we've looked at these universal laws, we've looked at human psychology, we've looked at strategy. They seem like different things, right? Now, let's put it all together and see the unified framework underneath.
This is the big reveal, the key that unlocks all of it. The Hermetic laws, Jung's psychology, Girard's desire, Sun Tzu's strategy, they are not separate fields of study. They are all just different languages, different maps trying to describe the very same, deep, underlying patterns of how reality and people work.
So when you boil all this down, what does it mean for us, for anyone trying to build something that actually lasts? It comes down to these 5 principles. 1. Identity comes first. Who you are precedes what you do. 2. Emotion is the door, logic is the key you use once it's open. 3. Focus on building systems that grow over time, because tactics always burn out. 4. The most powerful influence targets the invisible drivers of behavior. And 5. Ancient wisdom isn't old, it's proven.
You know, at the end of the day, most of the world is taught what to do. They're given a system to follow. The knowledge we've just walked through, this is about understanding why things work at all. And that understanding right there, that's the difference between someone who just plays the game and someone who gets to design the game itself. The only question is, which one are you going to be?